Welcome all of you back. Second half of the show. And look at that headline out in Oklahoma. Will OU recognize the legend during Tennessee's visit? Author of that is our friend Eric Bailey, who we've had a good chance to visit with over the introduction and orientation of OU to the league. First of all, Eric, it's really good to see you again. Hope the SEC experience has gone well.
Paul, it's good to see you again. And yes, it's finally here. It seems like we've been talking this for such a long time. And what better game to start this than OU Tennessee, Josh Heupel coming to Norman, the buildup this whole week. Everyone's excited, and I'm looking forward to it.
We've talked a little bit today about the awkwardness of this, and Adam Sparks said even his reporting showed that maybe Hypo was a sacrificial lamb in favor of a Stoops keeping another Stoops, which has happened a number of times. But what you're on the ground there? What do the fans think of Josh Hypo just overall as he makes the return?
You know, Paul, it's been 10 years now, and it's hard to believe 10 years have gone by since January 2015 when they let Josh Heupel go. But I think a lot of the fans realize that, his legacy here will never be forgotten. A lot of fans think there should be an eighth Heisman statue out in Heisman Park for Josh Heupel for what he did in 2000. He was a close second in the Heisman balloting in the year 2000, lost to Chris Winkie, but they won the 2000 national championship. I think there's a lot of fans that remember what he did in that renaissance when Oklahoma won that national championship. There's a generation of Oklahoma fans right now that don't realize in the 90s how low this program was. They just know wins right now. Josh Heupel brought this team back along with Bob Stoops and that football program, what they brought back. So I think that a lot of longtime fans really respect Josh Heupel. They realize what he did, and I think he'll get a warm reception when he returns. Now, for 3 hours, they're going to want to beat his brains in, but after that final whistle, I think they'll realize that there's still a lot of warm regards for Josh.
Yeah, and unless my math is incorrect here, Eric, Oklahoma's come close, but they haven't won a title since.
That's correct. You're exactly correct. And a lot of fans remember that too. They've been close a few times, but they still haven't won since 2000. And Josh Heupel was the catalyst for that team. And that's a long time. You think that's a generation and a half, 24, 25 years since they won a national championship. It's been a while.
We've had so much fun over these many years getting ready for this moment in time as we look at the Josh Heupel then, a little bit different than the one we'll see in Orange on Saturday night. But Eric, I want to ask you about maybe the elephant in the room. I don't know, maybe it isn't, but here is this always battle between Texas and Oklahoma. Hasn't even played its first SEC game yet, and Texas is already number one in the country. There just seems something bizarre about that. How are the OU fans reacting, assuming they are?
I think everyone, the rivalry is always going to be there. And it's funny because they're 3 games away from playing Texas. And I think people are already starting pointing toward that game and looking forward to it. I'm just curious right now who the quarterback's going to be for that OU Texas game. That's something everyone's thinking about now too. But Oklahoma has to get through a strong Tennessee team. That schedule for Oklahoma, we talked about it before the year started. That schedule looks even tougher when you look at South Carolina and how tough they're playing. There's no gimmies on this SEC schedule, and that's what Oklahoma's thinking about. But Texas, number one in the country, and that's pretty exciting if you're an Oklahoma fan because that rivalry game just got amped up even more. So, but I think if for Brent Venables and his team, they really truly do have to take it one game at a time, and it starts with Tennessee. This Tennessee team's a monster. When you look at what they've done to start with non-conference, what they have coming in, not only offensively but defensively, and this is going to be such a tough challenge. So the schedule, you look at all the top 10 opponents that Oklahoma has on the schedule. It's going to be it's an incredible slate. It's going to be tough sledding for Oklahoma, not only this week but in weeks to come.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because assuming this game doesn't go well, at Auburn next week, I mean, it speaks for itself. South Carolina, a challenge. I mean, everybody on that schedule is problematic. I felt, I'm a visitor. I don't live out there like you do, that fans seem pretty much behind Brent Venables. He bounced back last year. Discuss what you hear. Again, you're out there among fans. They're good fans out there. What is the view of Brent Venables as the other guy shows up Saturday night?
I think that you see improvement on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's something that Oklahoma fans have craved for the last decade. Of course, you saw Lincoln Riley's teams, all offense, no defense. Oklahoma fans wanted that defense to get better, and they're seeing that. Right now, Oklahoma has the best defense they've had in 10, 12 years, and we're seeing the product of that. But when you see, as soon as you see that, you see the problems on offense. That's where the issues are right now. And Brent Venables, as a head coach, he needs to take care of that. There's been things that have been out of their control. That the injuries was something that they didn't expect on the offensive line and at wide receiver, and that's hard when it's complemented by a young quarterback just making his fifth start in Jackson Arnold. So there's things they can't control with injuries, and they have to make the best of it. So as a head coach, it's things he has to handle and work through. I think Brent Venables, though, has made those strides on the defensive side that buys him some time, and he's a coach that understands what this program's all about. He's not a newcomer. He's not an outsider that doesn't understand what Sooner football is about. He understands the expectations here. I think the fans understand that he understands it too. So I think that buys him some time, but it's not easy getting well in the SEC. I think that's what Brent understands, and they're going to have to make some marked improvement on that offensive side of things. I think the defense is going to continue and maintain that trend toward improvement. I think they'll probably be even better next year, but that offense is going to have to make some improvement and fight through these injuries.
Eric, what would success look like at the end of the year? I know I'm jumping ahead toward a lot of hoops, but you know the fan base. What are they thinking?
I really thought going into the season, even before we were seeing what's happening right now through 3 games across not only an Oklahoma schedule, but across the whole SEC, I thought 8-4 would be a good year. And I know 4 losses is in some Oklahoma fans wanted to see, but with given the schedule, I thought going into the year, 8-4 would be a good year. 8-4 would be a great year now, I think, because you look again at all these top 10 teams on the schedule. I think 8-4 I still think it could be possible. Now, given the offensive deficiencies that they have, I think 7-5 is a possibility. And I say that if they can get well on the offensive line, if some of these wide receivers, these young wide receivers can grow and they get some guys back, they could get to 8-4. But I think the defense is going to have to play well all year. They're going to have to stay healthy. They may spring some upsets, but I still think 8 wins is possible. But and this could be the best team Brent Venables has had, and 8 wins wouldn't tell the whole story. It could be the best team he's had, and 8 wins would be a good year.
Eric Bailey, Tulsa World. Some might consider a very sobering report there. Eric, great to see you. We hope to see you soon. Thank you very much for always coming on our program as we head to the break right now. It's been a busy one. We still have a little bit more in store. We have an outstanding athlete from Ole Miss in the next hour, our final hour. Your phone calls are next.